special good morning to Mayor Red, also Superintendent Rounhanifard, and our other special guests. I'm Keith Miles. I'm the principal here at Woodrow Wilson High School. Our school is honored to host today's one-year anniversary of our district's strategic plan. It's appropriately entitled the Camden Commitment. We know that without vision, without a plan, we have a very small chance of achieving dramatically improved outcomes for our students. Our superintendent, he's laid out a solid plan that puts students first, it supports our schools, it sets our district up for success. Denoted in the document, last year, more than half of our students at Wilson reported that they wish they attended another school. This feedback directly from students is alarming and disheartening. The fact is, if we want to continue to increase our graduation rates, we must do more to make our schools appealing for our students. This year, we worked to change this perception about our school. Our teachers, leaders, and support staff have committed themselves to making Woodrow Wilson the school of choice. This is our slogan and our focus, making Wilson a place where our students want to be. To achieve this, our first step was to make our school more calm. To provide the structure and the environment our students need to learn and to thrive. We instituted 3 measures. We insist that our students arrive on time, they wear the correct uniform, and that they leave off-task technology at home. As a result of these 3 shifts, more students are starting their day on time and with breakfast. More students are spending more time in class and less time outside or in the hallways. In addition, countless neighbors and community members, they've mentioned that our students are rushing to get into the building in the morning, and fewer students are loitering during the school day in the community. Parents and law enforcement, they notice the changes as well. The reason we're honored and excited to host this event is because the commitment, the Camden Commitment, is a big part of the progress we're seeing. By laying out real goals for our work, we're taking the steps to make our vision, college readiness for all students, a reality. We are also well aware, though, that this is just the beginning. We know that truly transforming our district schools is a long and multi-year journey. It'll take the hard and ongoing work from teachers, students, parents, our school leaders to achieve sustained and lasting progress. In the future, at Wilson, we want to see more AP courses. We want to see SAT prep and many more students graduating college ready. As part of the Camden Commitment and to support me leading our efforts here at Wilson, I receive weekly coaching from our deputy superintendent. I receive feedback and support on how to coach and retain the best assistant school leaders and teachers. Right now, we have a member of our leadership team, also Mr. Cameron Baines. Mr. Cameron Baines is a resident principal. So my team and I, we conduct trainings for our staff. We follow up with coaching and feedback that we hope over time will result in improved classroom experiences for all of our students. These trainings, they push our teachers to practice instructional strategies with their colleagues before executing them in front of students. Just like in sports, where athletes practice before a game, we ask our teachers to practice so they are prepared with lessons and strategies that best set our students up for success. So I'll wrap up here so we can move on with the ceremony. But as you can see, we have a plan in Camden. It's a solid plan. I've only touched on a few parts of the plan, but it's truly a commitment to the students of Camden. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce someone who's no stranger to Woodrow Wilson. She's an advocate and supporter of Camden students. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the podium our city's mayor, Ms. Dana Redd.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Principal Miles, for sharing the great progress and work that is happening here at Woodrow Wilson High School, especially among the academic achievement of our students and our teachers. So we want to encourage Principal Miles and all of our administrators, educators, and students here at Woodrow Wilson to keep up the good work. Let's give them a round of applause. As the mayor of Camden, I'm pleased to be here among a host of dignitaries to report out, along with the superintendent, on the Camden Commitment one-year anniversary. I can tell you that since the superintendent's arrival, he has been hard at work collaborating and seeking solutions to improve academic outcomes for our children here in the city of Camden. This morning, I thought I would share some of my remarks with, of course, my mayor hat off, but also as a personal experience and a child that grew up in the city of Camden, once having been a former student and now a current student, and about the role that education has played in my life. I think this morning, as I reflected on some comments, it was Malcolm X that stated, education is your passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. And that is what this Camden Commitment and this collaboration is all about. As many of you are aware, as a young child growing up in the city of Camden, I faced my own unique set of circumstances that by the time I reached third grade, I was without my own parents. But what kept me going, what helped to raise me in the city of Camden, which we often refer to as the village to raise the child, was my grandparents, my teacher, the community, and the faith-based leaders. They helped to raise and to nurture Dana Red into the woman that I am today. And with their support, education was a priority in my household. Dropping out of school was a non-negotiable. Attending church was a non-negotiable back in the 70s and the 80s and 90s. And so with the support of this village, not only did I graduate high school, but I also made it through college. While I was not a traditional college student, able to go away to a four-year institution and come back and visit during the breaks that were taken, I had to work during the day and go to school at night. But the point is, I stuck to it, recognizing the value of education with an enormous support network in place. And as we talk about education and we want to encourage our children, I believe in leading by example. So even now, I decided to enroll in a master's degree program to continue my lifelong learning. So I want our young people, thank you. So I want our young people to see that all of us value and recognize the importance of education in their lives, because we want to see them achieve their dreams, to succeed academically, and really move Camden forward to the next level. Today we are gathered to listen to the superintendent report out on the state of the district, and once again I want to commend him and his team for the hard work that they have put into honoring the tenets of the commitment and making it a very transparent process. That is a wonderful quality of a leader, in being transparent, including a community, and in getting everybody involved in this enormous undertaking that we're endeavoring on. But let me say that the issue of the day is education, not just locally, but nationally. If you're looking at the presidential introduced budget for this fiscal year, you will find that he has priorities of education, making sure that our children are reading on grade level, making sure that they are succeeding in safe environments, and that the community and supportive services are in place. And this is a part of the work that we must all embrace in order to support learning for children, youth, and families. So each day is critical as we strive with our partners that are here today, with our council president, freeholder director, members of the advisory board, and the community at large to bring jobs to the city. We want to make sure that our children are prepared to get those jobs, to be in the senior positions and management level positions, and really carry Camden forward to the next level. So please join us. Please continue to work along and collaborate with this superintendent and with the youth and families of Camden. Now it is my distinct honor to introduce a partner who I've known for probably some 30 years of my life. He grew up in the city of Camden, is very passionate about transforming communities, about strengthening children, youth, and families, about public safety and job creation. Please welcome our council president, Francisco Frank Moran.
Thank you. Let's have another round of applause for our great Mayor, Dana Redd. Certainly it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here this morning in friendly territory, Tiger Country. I was just at the High the other day, and I knew where I was. But let me say that it's a great day. It's another great day in the city of Camden, because finally, the leadership, the community, are all coming together for the right causes. And I want to take this opportunity and commend our principal. I hear nothing but wonderful things, Mr. Miles. Thank you, and continued success on the work that you're doing here at Woodrow Wilson High School. Could we have a round of applause? And I am accompanied here by some of my colleagues who are here, and I'm going to ask that they stand up. We have Councilman Arthur Barkley at large. I'm sure he did some slamming here in his days. A whole lot? All right, don't go there. Dr. Luis Lopez, Councilman of the 4th Ward. We have Marilyn Torres, Councilwoman at large. And once again, on behalf of all my other colleagues that couldn't be here this morning, I thank you for this opportunity. Let me tell you, as elected officials in the legislative body of the city, it's a pretty tough job. But it's a job that has a major undertaking. And let me say that every single individual on this governing body is committed to transforming the city of Camden. For all of those that are here, you know that a year and a half or 2 years ago, we made a decision on transforming our public safety. And under the leadership of Scott Thompson and Louis Capelli, our director of the Freeholder Board, who's here with us, we have been able to make strides in a positive way to improve the public safety of our residents, families, youth, and children in the city, and I want to thank the Freeholder Board for their leadership. So let me say that this young man behind me, Mr. Paymon Rounhanifard, when the governor reached out to us and we met with him, we thought he was a young individual that had big shoes to fill in this district, because we know what is the taking here in Camden. But let me tell you that when he came on and he was running. And I can tell you that we have had numerous meetings over the last several years or year and a half to talk about the importance of the next phase of really improving the city of Camden is tackling the issues with public education. Because if our children are not given the opportunity to succeed, to learn as any other child in this county, in this state, or in this country, then we're failing our children. We have a lot of stars. Folks, we had the Heisman Trophy come out of this high school. You guys don't have that. Heisman Trophy winner from the school. Many, many stars. People that have done wonderful things, that have come back, and some of them are standing here today that have come back to this city, to this community, to do right by the residents. So I want to say that, Paymon, I commend you for the work that you've done and the work that is to be done. I'd ask everyone here to join us. We may not all be on the same page all the time, but at the end of the day, if we have the future of our children in our heart, in our minds, and in our passion to move forward, we will make the right decisions to help them out. Because if we don't, we're failing, folks. We are failing. So the time has come to really take that bull by the horn and guide that bull and say our children matter just as well as any other child in any district in this state, and we're going to make it happen. So thank you for being here. Yes, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you. At this time, as I spoke, we made some changes in the police department, and let me tell you, the leadership and the policing in the city is unprecedented. The crime rate is dropping, the numbers are just wonderful, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and that's under the leadership of Chief Scott Thompson, who can't be here today because he's in D.C., but he is represented by Deputy Chief Williams. Please come forward.
Good evening. I'd like to First of all, thank the mayor, chief, Freeholder Director Capelli for their bold vision in turning this city around as far as making their priority higher education and public service to the residents of the city of Camden. When we started this organization up, we said service before self, which we put into the neighborhoods, police officers walking and fulfilling your needs, what you need. And we want to be a part of your neighborhood. I'm from the city. Captain Dieter Tunstall is my captain from the Southern Division. He's from the city. So we have a commitment to you here to turn this city around. I want to acknowledge the Camden City School District and our renewed partnership with improving school safety. And also, I'd like to thank Superintendent Rounhanifard and Tony Bland and their safety team for their renewed partnership in ensuring that the kids are safe in and out of school. We have programs like Safe Quarters, also PACER, which is police and Congress enjoy reading to the kids, which is designed so that every kid throughout the city of Camden can feel safe and secure. It's hard to learn when these most obstacles aren't met. And in summary, get this right here. Creating a safe and orderly environment around our neighborhood schools with sharing the same vision as the school, we are working very hard together to accomplish this test. I was heartened when I seen that more students are saying they feel safe in schools now than previous 2 years ago. As we overcome to make our schools safer, so will our students and the whole city of Camden. Thank you very much. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Principal Miles back to the podium.
So I have the honor at this time to introduce to you one of our parents here at Woodrow Wilson. Miss Mary Jane Timbe has a student, a 9th grader here at Wilson. She also has a student at one of our Renaissance schools. Ms. Timbe and I, we share in our commitment to raising expectations and challenging our kids. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Ms. Timbe, Mary Jane Timbe.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Mary Jane Timbe. I was raised in Camden. I attended Molina, Pine Point, and graduated from Camden High. I moved away some years back. Yes, thank you. I moved away some years back, and I just recently moved back to North Camden. It'll be 3 years, in fact. My family and I actually live in the same house I grew up in. Last year, my daughters attended the public schools in North Camden. Honestly, we weren't very happy, not at all, by any means. They're not like when I went to school, very different. This year, my 3 youngest attend the new mastery in North Camden, and my oldest is right here in Woodrow Wilson. It's been a challenging year for all of us. Eli Jane, my 5th grader, has some tough issues that we've been dealing on a day-to-day basis. The good news is that Mastery School has been very helpful and very professional in coping with her outbursts, her defiance, and sometimes loss of control. There has been great communication with the staff of Mastery. I always hear directly from Mastery teachers, both good and bad news concerning Eli Jane's progress. They have surpassed my expectations with how they've handled Eli Jane's condition. I have only seen professionalism, and their use of tools and strategies in any situation has always been a plus for me. My 2 youngest daughters have had an excellent year so far. They're in 1st and in 3rd grade. They're excited to go to school every day to learn, which makes all of us at home happy. My oldest, Ebion, attends Woodrow Wilson and has confided in me that she does not feel like she's being academically challenged in her course. She did make the honors first marking period, which I'm very proud of. But I am hopeful today that the district will work with and support our principal and teachers here and at other schools around the city to make improvements. We want change. We want great schools. As parents, we want to have choices and good options. That's why I'm thrilled that the district has started partnership with Mastery to build new Renaissance schools. I want every school in Camden to be great, and as a parent, I am here today because I want to work together with other parents, the district, and all other schools so that every school in Camden is great, because every child in Camden deserves an excellent education. Thank you for your time. Now I would like to introduce the superintendent of our Camden schools, whose leadership has made possible the new choices we have for all of our children. Please welcome Paymon Rounhanifard.
All right. Small podium, lots of microphones. So thank you to all of you for being here. I want to thank our speakers here and begin with Principal Miles and your staff. I also want to acknowledge Sergeant McRae and the JROTC team for welcoming us here at the school. Thank you, Mayor Dana Redd. Thank you, Council President Frank Moran. He acknowledged the other council members here in the audience. I want to thank the freeholders who are here, Freeholder Director Lou Capelli, Freeholder, is Michelle Gentek here? I didn't see her. Freeholder Carmen Rodriguez, and Jonathan Young, who's our newest freeholder. Welcome. I believe we have representatives from Cory Booker's office, Senator Booker's office. Good to see you, Bill. Our advisory board members, I want to acknowledge Vice President Martha Wilson. Our president, Catherine Blackshear, couldn't be here today, but she sends her regards. Felicia Reyes Morton, we're joined with. Did I see Dot Bartley earlier? Is she not here? I don't think she's here. Teresa Atwood, and Minister Wasim Mohammed. Also want to acknowledge CEA President Robert Farmer. Thank you for being here today, Robert. A big thank you to our many community school coordinators who took the time out of their busy schedules to join us, and of course our parents, our community partners who are here, and all of our supporters. Thank you. I want to begin today by sharing with you two stories about actual Camden students, one current, one former. We'll call them Joseph and James. Joseph is a former student. According to his state test scores, he entered high school behind grade level in every subject. Once he got to high school, he received little additional support. His absences increased. Soon he had a C in algebra, an F in English, D's in biology and U.S. history. Not long after that, Joseph dropped out of high school, and that's where his academic record ends and his criminal record begins. As a juvenile, he was arrested on drug charges twice, receiving probation each time. He was arrested on weapons charges and received jail time. He again caught up on drug charges, this time in a school zone, and since then, he has been arrested again on weapons charges. Joseph is currently in jail. James is a 5-year-old, a current kindergartner. He arrived on the first day of school only able to identify 10 letters in the alphabet. For context, a kindergarten student should know every letter in the alphabet and be able to write his or her first name and last name at the start of the school year. So naturally, James struggled. But James was beginning to make progress. Then suddenly and unexpectedly, his mother had a stroke. James's school rallied around him. His teachers visited him in the hospital, brought him food, his family food, and they were there by his side at a time of need. Tragically, James's mother passed away. The height of misfortune for a young boy whose life was already challenging. But that's not the end of James's story. His teachers brought him birthday and Christmas presents to lift his spirits, and most importantly, they never gave up on him. Today, James, though shaken by this tragedy, is reading above grade level. Somehow, with all that's gone on, he's mastered all of the math concepts expected of a kindergartner, and somehow through it all, he has gotten on track academically and has all the opportunity in the world ahead of him. These stories remind us of the unconscionable challenges many of our students and families face in this city, but also the profound sense of possibility our schools hold. James's story captures the daily heroism of our teachers, who help students overcome these challenges no matter the severe obstacles, no matter how stark the challenge. There's a lesson here. With earlier intervention, Joseph could have been James. Through more adequate support, we could have at least gotten Joseph a high school diploma and an opportunity to work for a living. At the same time, if we don't continue the progress we've started, James could one day become Joseph. That is why we are committed to this work. Yes, our students experience challenges that their peers in Cherry Hill don't face. They often lack the supports that students in other parts of this country take for granted. And that's precisely why our schools need to do more for them. Many of our students are walking in with a significant disadvantage. So it is our civic responsibility, it is our moral obligation to ensure that they can access the same quality education as students in more affluent communities in this country. Our kids have extraordinary ability and tenacity. So if you're going to argue that poverty is destiny, then frankly, you don't know our students and you don't know their potential. Think a moment about our bedrock American values: opportunity, equality, liberty. The values so many places in this world don't share. The values many parents were, the values my parents were seeking when we fled Iran to arrive in this country when I was about James's age. For so many of our students and families, especially those who face the biggest struggles, we have fallen short of the very ideals upon which our country was founded. We are here today to imagine a better Camden for all of our Josephs and all of our Jameses. To imagine a Camden where every student finishes kindergarten on or ahead of grade level, like James will do. Where that progress continues to the next grade and the next grade and the grade after that, until after 13 years in our public schools, our city's Jameses are ready to choose from a college of their dreams or find a fulfilling career. Imagine the day when all of our Jameses become the leaders of this city, the next mayor, the next council president, the next business leaders, and yes, maybe even the next superintendent. That is our destination. We have a long ways to go. Today, we are quick to feel pride about the accomplishments of our students, as well we should, because they're remarkably talented. But we should also be outraged that just 1 out of 5 are on grade level in literacy and math, and that 2 out of 5 don't even finish high school. We should be outraged that if you happen to be born in Camden, you face steeper odds in life than children in other parts of this country. We should be outraged that for far too long, our system prevented too many students from achieving their potential. But as we look ahead, we have reason to be hopeful. Resisting the petty politics that sometimes holds back reform efforts, Mayor Redd has shown leadership and courage in making decisions that are in the best interest of Camden residents. As unpopular as it was in some quarters, Mayor Redd's decision to remake the police department with Chief Thompson has improved the quality of life in the city that many didn't believe was possible at one point. As complicated and difficult as it is, her effort to address blight and demolish the city's most hazardous vacant buildings is further improving the quality of life for kids like James. And while others have written off Camden's chances at economic development, Mayor Redd has fought and advocated to bring hundreds of millions of dollars to a city that has been historically neglected and downright forgotten by those outside of Camden. But here's the thing, Mayor Redd can't do it by herself. And she hasn't walked this path alone. So we also owe thanks to our City Council, led by Council President Moran, and our Camden County Freeholders, led by Freeholder Director Lou Capelli. Together with Mayor Redd, they have mounted a formidable effort to bring back opportunities to Camden that left decades ago. The job is far from done. Until we dramatically improve the quality of education in Camden, our youth, who make up 30% of the city's population and represent 100% of its future, will not fully realize those American ideals: liberty, opportunity, equality. Until Camden is recognized for the quality of its schools, we will not be able to bring back this city to its rightful place as one of America's great and prosperous cities. So today is not a celebration. As you may have noticed, there are no balloons here. There's no mission accomplished banner. Today is a public accounting. For too long, our school district didn't have a coherent and practical vision, like the Camden Commitment. Our school district didn't put out public reports on its progress every 3 months. In fact, results were swept under the rug. And tough decisions and conversations were regularly avoided. I hope you've been able to spend some time with our staff at the various tables here, each representing one of the promises in our Camden Commitment. What you'll learn is that, yes, there are some bright spots, but we've also fallen short in some areas. And I mentioned some bleak numbers earlier, and I mentioned there's reason to be optimistic. Here's why. With your support, as well as the support of so many others, our graduation rate is now up 6 percentage points with a 10-point increase here at Woodrow Wilson High School. Let's give them a round of applause. As you heard, we have forged a close working relationship with the Camden County Police Department, and we've reinvigorated the Safe Corridors program, which has led to students and staff feeling safer. In fact, 62% of middle schoolers and 55% of high schoolers are telling us they feel safe, and that compares to 20% the year before, almost a threefold improvement. We have also opened up 3 new Renaissance schools led by KIP, Mastery, and Uncommon. You heard a little bit about Mastery earlier. Each is off to an encouraging start, and each will soon have a new state-of-the-art facility in neighborhoods that desperately need them. But at the same time, we, all of us, still have our work cut out for us. Most of our students are still beginning school significantly behind literacy and math skills. There's an instructional piece here. Our teachers might be receiving more support, but many are still overwhelmed by the challenges of teaching here and require even additional support and access to resources. And while improving, student safety could be higher and restorative justice practices could be practiced more widely in our schools. And while we've made some real investments in parent engagement, that could still increase as well. So what's next? First, we will continue to focus on what we set out to do in the Camden Commitment. We haven't yet accomplished everything, yet, but we're going to work hard at it. There's no residential school underway as we had promised, and not enough students have access to SAT prep. Thus far, we've only opened up 1 of the 4 parent centers that we had promised to. And even with the Camden High renovation and 3 new Renaissance schools on the way with new facilities, too many of our students are going to school each morning in buildings that are dilapidated. Second, we need to focus more intensely on our lowest performing schools and our most dilapidated buildings, which we prioritized in the Camden Commitment. In November and December, we held parent meetings at each of our family schools where we discussed the latest NJAS results and began an honest conversation about how we are serving those students. There are schools where we're seeing great progress, like here at Woodrow Wilson, and there are schools where we need to explore what new levers will unlock the potential of our students. For those families especially, our work is urgent. There are schools in Camden where barely 1 out of 10 students are on grade level, where buildings are a century old, and where a school serves a fraction of the students it once used to. The status quo will not work for those schools. Incremental progress is not good enough either. We can't stand idly by. Like I said a year ago when we released this plan, all of our students and families have a right to enroll their student in a safe school with a quality education and a modern facility. And this means tough choices in the months ahead and finding the courage to do what is right by our children. Every child, again, deserves to go to an excellent school, a school that puts them on a pathway to achieve their dreams, to become doctors, scientists, artists, engineers. We don't yet have enough of those choices, enough of those schools here in Camden, and none of us can be satisfied until that changes for every child in every neighborhood. Lastly, we will have a conversation in our community about the state of our high schools specifically. The urgency we feel for kindergartners like James is nothing compared to that we feel for our older students who are in and approaching high school. For them, the clock is really ticking, and time for them to prepare for the next stage in life is running out. So in the coming weeks and months, we will meet this urgency with a series of changes in our high schools. We are going to tackle the fundamentals of reading and math. At the same time, we're going to introduce our kids to careers that they might be inspired to pursue. We will focus intensively on literacy and math in the earliest grades, grades 9 and 10, at our comprehensive high schools with a goal of doubling the amount of time those students spend in those subjects. Right now, many of our incoming 9th graders are starting high school significantly behind for us to expect them to catch up without spending additional time in those core subject areas. This problem is widespread, unfortunately. Last year, only 24% of high school students were able to do math and literacy on grade level, barely 1 out of 4. To make sure this additional time is useful, we will train our high school teachers so that when 9th and 10th graders begin the 2015-16 school year, they will be supported by a far more intensive and appropriate literacy and math program. We can certainly only wonder what would have happened if James had received more intensive support, when Joseph had received more intensive support when he had reached high school. Going to school in Camden will also mean greater opportunities in the later grades, 11 and 12. Vocational training, which today is called career and technical education, is popular among students and families, but we currently have a disjointed program. We have a lot of parts, but the whole today is currently far less than the sum of its parts. Because of scheduling and instructional challenges, not a single student completed the full vocational education courses to earn his or her culminating certificate. Not a single student. Passing a vocational course is a graduation requirement, so hundreds of our students are enrolled in these courses, yet despite that interest and the relevancy, no student is getting as much out of this opportunity as they should, and that is unacceptable. Vocational education is not a plan B, especially as employers like Holtec bring hundreds of new jobs to Camden. Having engineering, coding, AutoCAD, and other courses to offer up those skills is more valuable than ever before here in Camden. In partnership with students and staff, we need to reorganize our current opportunities and create new partnerships and industries in Camden so students can tap into a full vocational education program. Over the coming months, we will sit down with current students, alumni, higher education and community partners, and local employers to discuss the best ways to strengthen the important pathways for future students. Additionally, we will build on the plan to significantly renovate Camden High School by focusing on our other high schools. Today, we also pledge our commitment to the students and staff at Brim Medical Arts and Med East High School. We will make sure your schools are also in a condition similar to that Creative Arts is in, that befits the limitless potential of our students. Within the next 5 years, those schools will be housed in 21st century learning environments that they deserve, either through significant renovation, partnership, or ground-up construction. Those schools and those students deserve nothing less. We're here with you all today to voice our commitment to continuing to pursue improvements to our schools with you, and with our parents, and with our staff. As you well know, improving public education is no small feat. We have made some progress that we're sharing here today, but it hasn't been done single-handedly, and we will not be able to continue to improve if I go at it alone. And to ensure that I'm hearing directly and regularly from students and teachers, the individuals who are closest to the changes that we seek, next week I will launch a teacher roundtable as well as a student leader roundtable. I will meet monthly with each group, composed of teachers from all of our schools and students from all of our high schools, and share our latest work, seek feedback from them, and possible changes, and answer any questions and concerns that they may have. So part of the answer to the question of how we'll move forward is together. The other part of the answer is with a complete and utmost focus on students. You may have noticed the stories I shared earlier about Joseph and James didn't mention school name or school type. That's because it doesn't matter. James's future cannot hinge on the superficial question of whether he's in a district, a charter, or a Renaissance school. If we're in this to support all kids in Camden, and I know we are, and a school like James's is supporting him academically, emotionally, why should it matter whether he attends a Renaissance, a charter, or a district school? And at the same time, if a school like Joseph's isn't getting the job done and isn't supporting him and his peers, we need to take action. So again, why should it matter what type of school he attends? As superintendent of Camden, my job is to advocate and fight for all of our city's children. Today, tomorrow, and every day I am superintendent, I will continue to make decisions with our children utmost in my mind. In closing, I believe that the work we've taken on through the Camden Commitment, in coordination with many of you here in this room, has helped turn around a ship that not too long ago was off its course. The gains we've made over the last year are progress, no doubt about it. And every day, Our kids are proving to doubters that they are exceptional. But as clear as we are that our schools are moving forward, let us also be clear that it is only a start. Let me close by thanking our teachers, our support staff, our coaches, and the many, many other adults who are doing the hard work every single day inside of our schools. We all play a fundamental role in deciding which students become Joseph and which students become James. Born from our efforts, I believe this city can graduate a future generation of Jameses while ensuring we don't lose sight of students like Joseph who need even additional support. Yes, both can be true. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you're doing. My team and I will stick around for a little while afterwards, and hopefully you'll stick around too. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Anthony Blanton, Executive Director of the Office of Safety and Security. Thank you for visiting our table today. Thank you for the coming to see our one-year anniversary to the Camden Commitment. As you know, promise number one, safe schools, safe environments is important. If our kids are not in a safe environment, then academic rigor cannot take place. We're looking to do many different things, looking at training our security officers, expanding our safe corridors. We're looking to make sure that we're modifying the behaviors of our students to create a better culture in school, whether it's for staff and students, and then making sure that incidents in and around our schools can be mitigated, and I think we're looking and changing that. And if you can see the sign below, it shows you the timeline that we've done over the last year, and I think you'll continue to see the next steps, hopefully, as we've begun to have other pilot and innovative programs that take place.
I'm John Franco Altieri, Senior Director of Information Technology Operations for the Camden City School District. I'm here to talk a little bit about technology and how it's included in the Camden Commitment number 2. We're focusing, and I'm very proud to say that we're making significant progress in boosting our infrastructure to be future-proof to support all the district's needs, and then some. The technology infrastructure is being increased to support a significant number of students who can take online assessment tests, significantly improve our wireless capacity within the buildings, and just generally overall improve the teaching experience. The other area that I'm very proud of is we've come close to getting a 1-to-1 laptop ratio to all our teachers. This is significant. They can now take their lesson plans at home and work on district-issued equipment. This makes their lives much easier and ready to take on the future, so to speak. We're getting there. We have a little more work to do. Another area that I'm very proud of is we're getting close to a 4-to-1 device ratio to students. This is significant as well. There'll be 4 students to 1 device, and we're looking to, in the future, increase that number so students don't have any issues getting access to equipment that'll make learning much easier. So these are just a few things that we're doing to support Camden Commitment number 2. We're very proud of them. Let's see where we are next year. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Andrea O'Matry, and with me is Nafessa Wiggins. She's the site manager at one of our school-based youth services program at Woodrow Wilson High School. School-based youth services is a state-funded program by the Division of Children and Families, Office of School Link Services. We are preventive, interventive support services for our students here within the district. We have 9 locations. We work closely with students, families, and counseling supports, group supports, and after-school programming. We support the promise number 3A by providing enrichment activities, healthy youth development, and preventive activities for our students that helps them be able to focus academically on their classwork and to be healthy citizens, young adults, and very productive in school and in the community. So thank you. We look forward to you joining us one day at one of our school-based youth service events.
My name is Katrina McCombs, and I'm the Director of the Early Childhood Department for the Camden City School District. We are excited about celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the Camden Commitment. Pre-K is looking at tremendous enrollment this year. 96% of our slots are filled. We still have slots available, but we've reached 96%, which is one of the highest rates that we have achieved. So we're on our way to reaching 100% enrollment for preschool, which would help us to fulfill the Camden Commitment.
Tell us about your own educational background in Camden.
I went to the public schools here in North Camden. I went to Molina, I went to Pine Point, and then I graduated from Camden High School.
And what was your experience like when you were in those schools?
It was a good experience. I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was a good experience.
And now you're back in Camden as a mother. Tell us how many children you have and what grades they're in.
Okay, I'm a mother of 4. I have a 14-year-old in Woodrow Wilson. I have an 11-year-old in 5th grade in Mastery. Nevaeh she'll be 9 soon. She goes to Mastery in 3rd grade. And then I have Asia, who's actually my niece who I have custody of. She's 7 in 1st grade.
And so you made the choice to send your 3 youngest children to this school. Why did you decide to do that?
It was a choice. I think I should give an opportunity to go to somewhere else, being that I didn't like what I was seeing in the public schools. So it was a choice. They came out to my house. They came out, they pitched, they gave me the pitch, and it's right in Pine Point. It was a block or 2 away from my house. Why not? Let's try this. And it's been a good choice.
Why do you say it's been a good choice?
It's been a good choice where my kids actually feel like they're learning. They feel safe. They are eager to go in every morning. They've only had but nice things to say about their experience on a day-to-day basis.
And in your words, what would make your children's education successful? What do you want them to feel? What do you want them to say when they come home from school? How do you know if it's working or not?
Nothing negative. It's always been positive. They're excited. They're eager. Unlike before, it was just always something negative. They didn't feel safe. It was always something negative. And they have something to compare their education at the public schools. Prior to that, we lived in Lancaster and Ephrata, and it's an excellent school district they came from. Come here, and they noticed a big difference. I noticed a big difference when I took and dropped off my kids, went in for whatever reason. It's so different. It was not the same, and they felt that. And I felt like they were being deprived of a proper education. So, yeah, and now, they're eager, they're learning, they have good, exciting things to say, and it's not like that negativeness that I was receiving a year ago in the public schools.
And looking forward for your children, what are they hoping to do down the road? What are you hoping they do down the road?
Every day something different. So I haven't pinpointed any of them. My diva, Eli J, she says she wants to be a superstar. Okay, we're working on that. But my kids every day come with something different. Mom, I would like to be a vet, or I would like to be this, I would like to be that. But every day's been something different. But at least they feel hopeful. So to me, that's good enough for me right now.
My name is Tia Morris, and I'm the Chief Family and Community Engagement Officer. Our division of Family and Community Engagement is here to serve parents and to help make meaningful connections between community partners, community stakeholders, resources, our schools, and our families. The work that we do with families is for the express purpose of helping to support student achievement. We believe that our parents are some of the most important teachers of our students, and we try to do everything possible in order to empower parents with the skills, the knowledge, and access to information that will allow them to be advocates for their children, as well as to support their families so that way they can best support their children's future. We do work specifically in schools in terms of promoting the creation of programs, workshops, and events that will provide parents with information and meaningful training. We also do citywide work in which we are working to build out our existing district parent center, in addition to adding 4 brand new parent centers that will provide community-focused and community-based opportunities for families to come and interact, to learn, to receive training, support, and connections with resources. Moreover, we're looking to involve parents more in the everyday happenings of schools. We want parents to feel that their schools are welcoming environments and that they are excited about going to get involved in their schools. So as a result, we're working to expand our parent volunteer opportunities through a new policy. We're also working to expand access to information through utilizing innovative online tools and resources. So we are launching the parent portal through our Genesis student information system, and that will allow parents real-time access to information in terms of their children's performance, their children's attendance, and other aspects relative to student achievement. And so if a parent cannot make it to the school, if a parent does not have the opportunity to actually go visit a school in person, they can in real time at any time get information about their children. And so we have unprecedented amounts of supports. We've added a community school coordinator in every school. We've brought on resources to ensure that our parents who speak various languages have access to information, so new translation equipment, new translation services. And we're just working every day to empower our parents, because we know that in the end, although we are working every day to reform our system of education here, it's really about how it is we're working to transform our community and what we're doing to support each and every one of our families in this city.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Buell-Alvis. I'm the Affirmative Action Officer for the school district, and I'm here to talk about Promise Number 5. Promise Number 5 talks about professional development, working with the staff, trying to educate them and train them on best practices. So I have attended just about all of the professional developments. There's been an array of staff who have presented, who've talked about their goals, their objectives, and how it relates to Promise 5. I think it's important for staff to always be professionally developed. Not only does it support their development in the profession, it also enables them to connect and collaborate and have meaningful discussion about best practices. I think that Promise 5 is beneficial for the school district and its employees, as well as the community at large. That way it ensures that everyone is trained in best practices, that there is the collaborative sharing, that we enable and we support each other as we grow in this profession. This will support our work in the schools with children and with staff.
Tell us how it's gone in this first year of actually executing the plan that was informed by community feedback.
I think there's some real signs of progress, and we had our staff here, each representing one of the 5 promises in the Camden Commitment, talking about those areas of progress. We have a 6% increase in our graduation rate, 10 points here at Woodrow Wilson High School. We're really proud of them. We're seeing that our students are feeling safer, both inside of school and going to and from school, almost a 3-fold improvement in the way that students are feeling going to and from school, and that's a direct benefit of the Safe Corridors program. But at the same time, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. Only 2 out of 5 students is graduating from high school, and only a small fraction of those students are finding meaningful employment or enrolling in college. So again, the message today was, yes, real signs of progress coming out of our strategic plan, but a lot of work ahead of us.
You mentioned challenges at the high school level. What are you going to do about some of the struggles that our 9th, 10th grade students are facing?
A vast majority of our high school students are showing up significantly behind in terms of their literacy and math skills. And so our focus, particularly the 2 comprehensive high schools, Camden High and Woodrow Wilson, is to double down the instructional time for math and for literacy and to get those basic skills in order, because ultimately we want to ensure that when those kids graduate, they have the same shot in life as students in other parts of the country.
And you talk a lot about community engagement and talking to those closest to the schools. Any update on what's next in those efforts to make sure that your efforts are informed by people in the schools and people in the community?
We always take really seriously the opportunity to get feedback from the community. I think it's a big part of what we're doing here, and so what we announced today was we're going to go out and set up a student roundtable, a student leadership roundtable, and also a teacher roundtable. So teachers will be represented at every single one of our schools, and they'll be represented from all of our high schools. And we'll meet monthly, and they'll share with me what we're doing well, where we can improve, how I can address some of their very specific concerns and questions. I think it'd be another great opportunity for us to elicit that feedback.
Great, and for parents who are watching at home, they've heard about some of the changes, they see things looking a little bit different in the past. What's your message to them if they're a little bit uncertain about kind of what might be going on. We're still at the early stages of the Camden Commitment. So what would your message to them be?
My message to them is the excellence of our schools needs to match the excellence of their kids. And there are some schools where we're seeing that progress, but it's not nearly good enough. And particularly at some of our most underperforming schools where barely 1 out of 10 students are on grade level. The building's a century old. There's only a fraction of the students that used to be there before. Like, we've got to make some big, tough decisions to ensure that all of our kids can be enrolled in a school that is safe, is in a modern facility, and of course provides a high quality education.
Everyone, just want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for hearing our speakers. Woodrow Wilson, there's more to come from our school. We're about 9 months in. We expect to do major things under the leadership of our current superintendent. So thanks for coming out and celebrating the progress that we've made.